FH Sports.
Welcome to FH Sports, where we talk about sports all day. So we're coming to you today. Our episodes really, this show was made by four brothers who just come together to do what we love to do, hanging out, talking about sports, and we're just doing that in front of you. So you got two of us on front of the camera, two of our brothers behind the camera. So we hope you enjoy this episode, and what we're going to talk about today is going to be special. So I'm your co-host, David.
My name is Jeremy. Welcome to FH Sports fans.
And so today's episode, we're going to cover that. It's a little different than what you're used to seeing. We're going to preview our games like we normally do. We're going to take some time today, and we're going to talk about the WNBA. It's up and coming. It's not up and coming, but it's on the rise as far as popularity. People are really starting to tune in. And so we're going to dive into some things about the WNBA as well. So let's get started with reviewing our past week games. We're just going to highlight a couple of those games. We're going to start with our upset game. And the first one that we have on the docket is the Seahawks over the Browns.
Folks, I called it. I was right. I called it, David. I said the Seahawks were going to win because of that 12th man. And that 12th man, I'm telling you, in the regular season, just don't think just because this is preseason. The regular season, that 12th man gets more animated. Outside of Kansas City, their stadium is like one of the rockiest stadiums in the league. So I told y'all gonna be upset with me. He picked the Seahawks, but I told y'all the Seahawks were gonna pull it off. Granted, none of the starters really played. Gino played the series. Deshaun didn't play at all. So that has a lot to do with it. I'm pretty sure y'all folks out there, y'all FH fans, y'all probably thinking right now, none of the starters did play. We'll see. We're gonna see how it goes in the regular season. But don't underestimate that 12th man in Seattle, folks. I'm here to tell y'all.
All right, so we'll keep our eye on the team and that 12th man. The crowd makes all the difference. All right, so the second game that we want to preview or review from last week is the Vikings over the Eagles.
I told y'all. I told y'all what it was going to be. I said, do not sleep on this Vikings team.
Right.
Everybody is sleeping on this Vikings team because they lost Kirk Cousins. You still got Justin Jefferson. You still got Addison on the outside. They don't need a superstar quarterback. They just need somebody to get the playmakers the ball. You got superstars, so you ain't got to have a superstar quarterback. You just need somebody to get them the ball. I think Sam Darnold's that guy to get them the ball. I really do. He got rode off. He got drafted to the Jets. Mm-hmm. Bad situation. Everybody goes to Jets. Your career goes to Jets to die. I mean, let's be honest about that. They go there to die. Aaron Rodgers, I'm praying for you. Hope everything works out for you. But everybody's been drafted to the Jets. Their career has not been the same. He goes to Carolina, another bad situation. And everybody just wrote him off. Oh, he's a bust. Give this guy the right pieces, the right players around him, and I think he can be a solid quarterback. He didn't play. I understand that. But this game just shows you if you got the right people in place, the right team, what this team can be capable of in the regular season. Granted, the Eagles, nobody played on the Eagles, none of the starters played. Jalen Hurts didn't play. Saquon didn't play. So in the regular season, yeah, it would be a difference. But Minnesota would still give them guys all they would have wanted if this would have been regular season.
Right.
It might not have been 26-3 like the score indicates, but it would have been a closer game. It would have been a good game. And I still think Minnesota would have pulled this one out if this had been a regular season.
Oh, even in the regular season?
In the regular season.
Okay.
I just didn't call it upset just because of the preseason. I still would have picked the same team in the regular season matchup if they was matching up on any Sunday, Monday, Thursday. It doesn't matter. I would have still been picking the Vikings over the Eagles.
Okay, so You got some high hopes for the Vikings then.
I don't have high hopes.
Okay.
I just think they would have beat the Eagles.
Okay.
And it might be because I'm NFC East biased. Me being a Cowboys fan, yes, I'm a Cowboys fan, folks. So that might be that has a little to do with it, but it doesn't. I still would have picked the Vikings because, like I said, who do you go? You can't double Addison. You can't double Jefferson. If you try to double both of those guys, they got a solid tight end. They have a decent running game. They have a good defense. They don't have a Super Bowl defense, but they have a decent defense.
Okay. So they'll be competitive.
They'll be competitive. Do I think they'll make the playoffs? No, but I think they'll be fighting for a playoff spot to the last season. I don't think this is going to be a 4 or 5 win team. Okay. I do think they'll win 7 or 8 games, possibly even 9. But I just think they are going to be a good team.
All right, so we're going to mark that down for the Vikings.
Yes.
We're looking at possibly 9 games. So they may, on the high end, they may win 9 games.
Yeah,
we're going to say about 7 games.
Yeah, I'm predicting to win about 7 games.
But with playoff berth.
No, not a playoff.
Okay.
But I think they're going to push the playoffs.
Okay, got it.
Because I just don't see them making the playoffs because of just the division they're in alone in NFC North. I mean, you still got Detroit Lions that won 12 games. You got the Packers who made the playoffs. So you got 2 playoff teams in your own division. Then it ain't like the other NFC teams took a step back. CeeDee Lamb with Cowboys just got his money. So Dallas is reassuring, locking up their guys. So nobody's like really. The Eagles maybe took a step forward, but took a step back also with the loss of Hassan Reddick, who went to the Jets. But you gave Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. So they give and lost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So nobody's like really took a step back in the NFC to say the Minnesota can replace this playoff team.
Gotcha.
So, but I think they're going to push the other teams that made the playoffs and really give them all they want to say, hey, we had earned this against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay. It ain't going.
So it could be a pushover.
Yeah, they ain't getting off the bus saying, well, we're going to roll these boys over today. No, they're going to have to work to beat Minnesota. I'm telling you. Look, Justin Jefferson did not get paid what he got paid because he was a slouch. Mm-hmm. Justin Jefferson is the real deal. Right. Addison is the real deal. So I just don't. They're not going to be a playoff team, but they're not going to be pushovers either.
All right. Well, at least Vikings fans, you heard it here. Your team's not going to get embarrassed every Sunday. So hey, at least you guys got a competitive team, something to look forward to. So all right. So that's our preseason recap. That's going to be all the games we're going to cover on the recap for the preseason since we're starting to focus and turn our attention to the upcoming regular season of the NFL. So on that note, what are you looking forward to? What are you expecting? Looking at kind of just the NFL season first week.
My expectations this coming up year, I think it's gonna be a toss up. If you watched the video last week, you see my Super Bowl picks. I'm confident with my Super Bowl picks, but at the same time, I'm like, I gotta scratch my head.
Right.
Because there's so many competitive teams in the league. Teams are paying their guys, but I'm scared our teams overpaying their guys. Mm-hmm. I'm not for sure. You send us a comment on if anybody knows the salary cap for every team. But I know that you can't pay your guys $50 million and continually build around that. That's what scares me with the league now. But I'm not by all means. It's all about money. I understand that. But some of these guys have got to understand, is it more about getting your money or getting these rings? Right. I just don't think it's going to be feasible and possible for you to be able to pay your quarterback $50 million, pay your receivers $30 million, pay your top defensive players, $20, $25 million, and be able to build a consistent winner because you're having to allocate so much money to just a couple of players. And so are these players willing to say, hey, I'm going to take less to do more? Mm-hmm. Let's be honest, Patrick Mahomes could ask for $100 million if he wanted to, but he took less to do more. And look what him by taking less to do more has got him.
They might be the first team in NFL history to three-peat in the Super Bowl. And I'm a Cowboys fan saying that. But what I see what you're saying, going back to last week's video, my Super Bowl pick,
Yes.
I looked it up. There's never been a three-peat in the NFL. I think we're going to witness the first three-peat.
No, folks. All Texas. I'm still going with my All Texas Super Bowl. I'm sticking with it. If it changes between now and a few weeks from now, folks, I will come to you and I will apologize for wasting your time with my Super Bowl pick. But as of right now, Texas, mark this down. Super Bowl 57. Y'all go ahead and get your party on. Because it's gonna be all Texas. It's gonna be all Texas Super Bowl. So Texas, y'all go ahead and get your party on. Cause y'all gonna be partying out in Texas. Cause both y'all teams are gonna make it to the Super Bowl. So go on and get your party on.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm proved wrong. Because I'd love to see the boys back in the Super Bowl. We've been in this drought since the late 90s.
96.
So I'd love to see my boys back. I feel like we forgot what it feels like to be in the Super Bowl.
We years forgot what it feels like.
I love to be wrong on this one. But like I said before, I'm a realistic Cowboys fan. I just don't see it happening this year. But we'll see. We'll see. The season hasn't started yet, so the regular season, so we'll see what happens. All right, so that's going to wrap up our NFL conversation so far for the day. We really want to jump into this thing with the WNBA.
Yes.
So WNBA, I remember when I first kind of got exposed to the WNBA was when Lisa Leslie was playing. And I think it may have been her early, like late 90s, early 2000s when I kind of started to be aware of the WNBA, kind of started watching. I remember before she dunked the ball, I was kind of starting to watch some of the games.
Yeah.
And she was the main person I watched back then. And even now, there's a lot of great players who want to kind of jump into that. But yeah, so the WNBA has come a long way. It's been the league. This is their 28th season, I believe. And so just seeing the growth of the league, we're going to get into some details with the different teams and the things that we're looking for. But just the WNBA as a whole and where you've seen it come over the last almost 30 years.
Man, I remember when the league first started. I mean, no, I wasn't. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, I watched every game. I'm not going to sit here and lie. No, I did. But I do remember when the league first started, you had Cheryl Swoops.
Oh, yeah.
Look. Go back and look at it. The Swoops, that's her shoe line. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, definitely hit us in the comments. She is the first female to have her own shoe line. Yeah. I mean, the Swoops. Mm-hmm. That was her shoe. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you had, like you said, Lisa Leslie, who was, but I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna take it back, way back. There was this lady. She was a dominant player. If they would have been a WNBA then, she would have dominated before Lisa Leslie, for Cheryl Swoops. Her name was Cheryl Miller. This is Reggie Miller.
Oh yeah.
She scored 105 points in a high school game. Right. She dominated at I want to say she played at USC. I could be mistaken, but I think it was USC. Mm-hmm. She dominated. Yeah. She dominated before women's sports was women's sports. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So big shouts out to Cheryl Miller to really starting to put a light on it. And if they would have been a WNBA then, she would have been what little girls inspired to be. Yeah. She would have been that Caitlin Clark. She would have been that Angel Reese, Angel Wilson. So, but yeah, I can take it back to Cheryl Miller. No, I didn't watch her play personally. But, I kept up. I seen her highlights. Mm-hmm. She pushed Reggie to be the player that he is. And we all know Reggie's a Hall of Fame player.
Yes.
He's one of the top 75 greatest players. He would tell you to today, the toughest player he ever played was the big sister.
Yeah, she beat up on him.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm watching WNBA for a long time. And to see where it comes to now and where it has grown, it's like really full circle to where they can look back and say it's because of you.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point. And looking at kind of how it began early on, I think again this is the 28th season.
Yeah.
And looking at where they are now. So some of the things that I'm kind of going to touch on here recently, last couple of months, WNBA has been able to sign a new TV deal, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the current TV deal was valued at about I think it's about $60 million a year, if I'm not mistaken. So the current TV deal is about $60 million a year. They just signed a new TV deal worth $2.2 billion, which comes out to roughly about $200 million a year. So there's basically their contract value now is 3 times what it was up to this point. And so that to me speaks to the popularity of the sport. More people are taking interest in the sport, but also the talent level. I think there's always been the talent level, continue to get better, but it's just now beginning to captivate people's attention. There's, whether it's rivalries that help with that, or it's some of the business that's happening behind the scenes with the commissioner and different things being worked out by the type of ownership group. But we're starting to see the WNBA really rise to the forefront in sports in general, not just women's sports, but really rising to the forefront where even the college championship game got more views than the men's championship game.
And that's to me, I don't mean to cut you off, David, but to me, that says a lot all in its own. Mm-hmm. Everybody lives for March Madness.
Oh yeah.
Everybody lives for March Madness, but for the women's championship game to get more views than the men's is a testament to the hard work that these ladies have put in to say, hey, we are here.
Right.
Notice us, watch our game. Right.
So, and it wasn't just a slouch game. It wasn't just a game that we just tuned it in. Let's just see what it's about. It's like, no, this was a competitive game. This was an awesome championship game.
It was.
Men versus women, forget that. This was a great game. Period. This was a game to watch, a game to enjoy, a game to say, okay, that's what basketball is about. So,
the game was, to me, I ain't gonna say the game was better than expected because you already knew when Caitlin Clark when she steps on the court, you knew what you would get when she played the album. Then they went against the story. UConn, as far as women's college basketball, UConn is the precedent. Everybody wants to be UConn. Everybody wants to go to UConn like everybody wants to go to North Carolina. UConn is that. And for UConn, and this is how much the women's game has revolutionized to. Over the past few years, UConn ain't even been that same team. You got all these other schools that players are clamoring to go to I want to beat UConn. I don't want to beat UConn. I want to beat UConn.
Yeah.
So that's just how revolutionized the women's game has come to where it's not UConn and everybody else no more.
Right.
UConn is in the field.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So everybody, Brianna Stewart, UConn has threw out so much talent into the WNBA. That was a precedent. Right. Either you go to UConn or you don't get recognized.
And that makes the league, the college, that makes it more competitive. That makes it funner to watch. I mean, you got competition now amongst different teams versus 1 or 2, 3 teams just kind of dominating everybody. Now you've got better competition, a better field of teams to watch. So now with my hometown, whatever state I'm from, now I have a competitive team. Now I'm more likely to watch that team because we actually have a chance to win.
Yes.
Versus, oh man, that's a stacked team, we get dominated. So that's a good thing to kind of see that thing start to balance out. Definitely is great to see that in the college side, and then as that moves over into
the WNBA. And like I said, it's revolutionized, and I'm happy for these women. I'm proud of these women to not just settle. Everybody wants, they should be happy with, no, nobody's going to be happy. They put the work in to earn this TV deal. And to make I'm going to be honest with you. Look at what the NBA is getting. They're getting $76 billion over 11 years. Mm-hmm. I think the women's game they should be earning more. And I think as the league grows with more teams, we got Golden State just they're getting ready to start a franchise. It's the Golden State Valkyrie. So I think as the league grows,
right, because it's still a pretty small league.
Yeah,
I think it's 12 teams.
Yeah,
so pretty small league in comparison to
the NBA. Yeah,
and so as this expansion, as you're adding more teams, that gets more you increase the fan base, so now I can root for my home state. So as that's starting to happen, we're going to see this $2.2 billion deal. You know, it's 3 times what their previous deal was. So the next one, for example, could be 5, 10 times. So
Yes.
they'll continue seeing this thing grow. There is, just really quickly, on the WNBA. So a couple of dates to keep in mind. The regular season ends September 19th. So keep that. That's just less than maybe about 3 weeks away from the time that we're doing this recording. By the time you see it, might actually be 2 weeks away. And then the playoffs begin September 22nd. So put that on your calendar, September 22nd. That's the date the WNBA playoffs begin. Going back to just seeing the growth of the league, some of the partnership deals that they've been able to secure here have really been helpful. So we talked about the TV deal, right? That's through Amazon is a part of that, Walt Disney. So there's a couple big players there. They've got a TNT deal. So when we talk about expansion, they got actually a TNT deal that's actually taking them international.
Yes.
I think it's Ireland and the UK. I think where they're going to be at. So they're now taking the game. Yes, they're growing here locally in the States. We're also expanding internationally. So this growth that we're talking about that they've experienced over the last decade, that's going to be multiplied or exponential growth going forward because they're not just doing it in the States, they're also doing it internationally. So there ought to be something, international fan base. You guys are going to have some WNBA games coming your way as well. And then another partnership they've got is with Google. Google is sponsoring the playoffs.
Okay.
So Google will be sponsoring the playoffs.
Shout out Google.
So I'm a Google person in terms of got the Android, Google, the Google phone that I use. So Google a lot of things. But anyway, I'm big on Google sidebar. I'm big on Google stock as well. Just want to throw that in there. But yeah, so we're Google. I'm a Google person. So seeing them jump into this, that is a good marketing partner for the WNBA as well. And the last 2 partnerships I want to mention, and I know you're familiar with this, DraftKings and FanDuel.
Yes.
So they've been brought on as partnerships with the WNBA as well. So you've got a lot of growth that's happening with the WNBA, a lot of great, strong partnerships that we've seen in the NBA, NFL, all those men's professional sports. But we're seeing the WNBA taking.
Man, I'm proud. I'm proud of these companies for saying, you know what, I believe in where these women are taking us.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hook to their bank. Yeah. Let me partner with these women, and I'm gonna watch my investment return soon. Because for a lot of years, a long time, companies wouldn't invest in women's sports, but the return's not gonna be there. Right. These women have put into work to make these companies open their eyes and say, I'm going to get a return on my investment. Mm-hmm. These women are going to put my product out there. And you've said a lot of big companies, so which our products are already out there, but it's making it even more visible. Oh, yeah. It's making it, instead of them just, I'm going to sign to the NFL, or I'm going to sign to the NBA, or they said, you know what? We're going to put it in these women's hands, mm-hmm. and we're going to let y'all take our brand to this market. Because this market has been tapped into for a long time. Companies weren't investing in this market.
Right.
Now you got these companies investing into this market saying, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
We got faith. We got confidence that we're not going to lose money on our investment. Right. So big shout out to all these companies who's investing into the women's game.
Yeah, it's a business at the end of the day, and this is good business. And so it's great to see them take advantage of that. And so as we talked about some of the excitement that's been building up for the WNBA over the last at least decade, let's dive into one of the recent games that took place, and that was the Las Vegas Aces and the Dallas Wings. Now, I want to bring it up for one reason in particular, but one is the recent game. But exciting, we talk about exciting. So we see 42 points
and a loss.
There's a loss.
He made loss. Now look, this we're not talking about 42 in the NBA. How many times have in the NBA has a player put up 42 and they lost? Mm-hmm. This is the WNBA. Asia Wilson puts up 42 points. If she puts up 40, you're supposed to win. You should win.
And I think that helps us realize the competition in WNBA, it's not so far that this team or this player just you hit 40 points is an automatic win. And I think that's kind of what the thought process is you hit 40 points as a player, your team's gonna win. But this is showing the competition that you're going to get. And this is actually this game I would say was an upset game.
It was.
So you got the Aces, their record at that time, where this time after this game is of being 18-12, they were 18-11 before that, and then the Wings who would have been 7-23, I believe. So you're talking about all right, a team that should automatically go in and win this game. Their star player puts up over 40 points, and they lose. And it wasn't. And I looked at some of the player stats in that game. It wasn't that. So the Aces. So Aces, she carries the team with 40 points, but she had some help from a couple of the players in double digits, right? It wasn't like she was at 42 points and everybody else scored like 8 points, 7 points. No, she had, I think there was some 15, 17 points, a couple of scores there that contributed to the game, but the Wings had a little bit more of a balance. They had maybe 4 players in double figures, ranging from like 15 points to about 20-ish points, somewhere in that range. So they had a little bit more of a balanced game.
Well, see, to me, the Aces are going to get everybody's best shot every week.
Yeah.
They are the two-time. Yeah. Talk about the Chiefs. These are the two-time defending champions. So they're going to get everybody's best shot game in and game out. And they got Dallas Wings best shot. And they said, hey, we're not going to let you roll us over. We're not going to let you do us any way you want to. We at home.
Right.
We're at home. We're in Dallas. Shout out, Jason. We're in Dallas. We're going to put up a fight. Either you going to earn this.
Right.
They just couldn't do it. Hey, big shout out to the Wings for that. I know Mark Hugh was happy this morning.
I bet. Hey, again, at this time too, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, be sure to like and subscribe and share the page with people that you know. We love to continue putting out this content. Again, this is just 4 brothers doing what we love to do in front of you guys. So share. So on that note, we're talking about the Aces. You know, their playoffs. They're in the playoffs. They're pretty much going to be there. So what the WNBA we talking about is 12 teams. We've got 8 of those that make it to the playoffs, and we're coming up on. You know, I think the 40-game season, and I think we're somewhere around about 8 to 10 games left, somewhere around that range. So we're getting to the end of the season pretty quickly. And as we look forward to the season, do want to quickly just for those that don't know, just the format, playoff format.
It's basically the same as the NBA. Considering you don't have as many teams,
right.
It's the best 2 out of 3.
Right.
Excuse me, folks.
So you'll have those 8 teams. First round of the playoffs is going to be the best out of 3, and then when you get to the semifinals and finals,
it's still 2 out of 3. And
the best out of 5.
Yes, best. It's the best out of 5 series. All the way through the playoffs.
Right. That's it.
So but this year is going to be. This is going to be some playoffs.
Yeah. So we'll jump into we're going to highlight a couple teams, a couple players that we just want to get some things on that we have. So any particular team or player that you want to start off with, just acknowledging, kind of speaking.
New York Liberty.
Okay.
I want to. That's my team. Of course, they're number 1 the number 1 seed right now. They made the finals last year against the Aces, and that was their first year bringing in this super team. This was the super team of free agents that they didn't draft, but they free agency super team. So last year was their first year, and they made the finals. They lost, so they got another year together. So I'm picking the Liberty to win it, and they're sitting at number 1. The number 1 seed right now.
Okay, so your team to win. Okay.
Yeah, that's my team to win.
So that's a prediction. I wasn't prepared to make a prediction yet, but I will say the Aces, I mean, they do look good from what I've been seeing. What I would look, and this is a prediction for this year, so let me just be careful what I say. But Indiana, I see this team as over the next couple of years.
Yes.
As they're building this team, this is going to be a team to watch out for. And I just a couple of things for me that stands out about Indiana Fever. Obviously, we've got Caitlin, right?
Yeah.
You can just say Caitlin and be done.
Yeah.
But you got Caitlin as, first of all, the rookie that's leading, and you got a few more stats too, but she's the leading assist in the league, right? So she's leading on her team, leading in the league. She's in the top 10 in scoring in the league. At this point, she holds that number 10 spot. And then on this team, here's the thing with Indiana Fever. They got the number one pick this year and last year. So last 2 years, they got the number one pick. Aaliyah Boston, so that was the previous pick, number one rookie of the year. She's averaging a little over 9 rebounds a game. That puts her in the number 6 spot at this time in the league. Yeah. So you got a big rebounder. She's averaging about 14 points a game. I think that puts her in about the top 20 in rebounding. She's averaging 3 assists a game for a forward. I mean that's pretty good. She's ranking in the top probably 20 or 30 in the league with those assists. But here's the kicker for me. So we talked about Caitlin. Caitlin's hitting 18 points a game, averaging I think about 8 assists a game. But then we get to Kelsey Mitchell on her team. Kelsey Mitchell's the leading scorer on the team at a notch over 18 points a game. But here's a funny stat for me is that Caitlin, we know she's a three.
Yes.
She's a danger from the three. Her 3-point percentage is about 35%, somewhere around that. Kelsey comes in and notches that up to 37%, 38%. So while Kelsey may not necessarily get all the attention that Caitlin gets, you got a dual threat from the 3-point line. So if you're thinking, and this is why I say watch out for this team, because if you think you can shut down Caitlin at the 3, first of all, she has no problem sharing the ball. She's going to distribute, facilitate. She's got another killer 3-point shooter on the opposite wing or wherever she's lined up at, and Kelsey that can knock down the 3 just as easily as the person you're trying to double team at Caitlin. So it's like you get the ball in Caitlin's hand, or Kelsey can kill you from the 3, and you got Aaliyah down in the paint, averaging 14 points, killing on the boards, almost 10 boards a game. So with this team, you two people in the top 10, it's really going to be a young team in terms of their, 2 of their stars are two less than 2 years in the league, right? You got the two reigning number 1 picks. But I think as this team is continuing to grow and mature, like they're going to be a team to watch out for that soon they'll be knocking on that championship door. Like they're going to be in the finals, they're going to be knocking on the door as a team that's the true threat to watch out.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. I think Indiana, instead of last year's number 1 pick, of course, just number 1 pick, and you mentioned Mitchell. I think they have other good pieces around them. Mm-hmm. I do think they're building for the future.
Right.
They're in a chance right now. Is the season was in today? They'd be in the playoffs, which they haven't been in a long time. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2016.
Correct.
So, just alone, Caitlin coming in, did she make them a playoff team? Well, history saying yes.
Right.
History saying yes. But it wasn't her alone. Like you said, they got Kelsey. They got last year's number 1 pick, rookie of the year.
Yeah, Aaliyah
Boston. So I think, they're definitely building for the future. And I don't think, like you said, I don't think they're too far away. Maybe a few years down the road saying, hey, we just want to find
it. Yeah.
So they're building, they got the blocks, they got the foundation. And it's just going to take a few more pieces. And, with some of these other ladies get ready to retire, they're getting older. Doesn't mean their skills are diminishing, but father time kisses over everybody.
It does.
So I do think that's going to be a team. That's a big team. That's going to be a team on the rise in the near future. I do.
And speaking of those players who are starting to kind of, they've been in the league for a while. They're getting closer to the exit door.
Yeah.
Diana Taurasi. Now, I've termed her just for comparison's sake to make it what I'm about to say click for most people, is I consider her the LeBron James of the WNBA.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
And so now, obviously, in the WNBA, she's going to be the Diana of the NBA. So women, I want to be the Diana of the NBA. I'm just, for this comparison, just so it clicks for everybody really quick, she's the LeBron of the WNBA. What do I mean by that? One, her longevity.
Yes.
She's going on 19 years in the league. She is the WNBA all-time leading scorer. Again, in comparison, LeBron James, right? All-time leading scorer in the NBA. She's won multiple championships. I think she's had 3 WNBA championships.
Yes.
Just to read her resume a little bit. 3 WNBA championships. With this year's Olympics, she is a 6-time Olympic gold medalist.
That is
6 times.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So your longevity is, you got 6 gold medals. We're not talking about swimming. We're not talking about track, gymnastics. We're talking about basketball. And that's just how dominant the women's game is in international play as well. Mm-hmm. Where she's got 6 gold medals. That's a stat. You can retire your career off of that, right? Not have no WNBA championships, not have no MVPs. Say, I got 6 gold medals.
Yeah.
That's a Hall of Fame career.
Hey,
because you were good enough for them to put you on the roster.
Right.
Because you got to be one of the best players in your country to make the roster. So you made the roster for 6 consecutive Olympics.
Yeah.
And you got medals.
Yeah.
You just ain't got medals, you got gold medals.
Right.
So
she's not just like on that team just as a figurehead. She's a contributing part to that team.
So big shout out to Dana. That just shows her greatness.
Yeah. And and looking at her, she's got the 3 WNBA championships. She's got 2 NBA Finals MVPs.
Okay.
And 5 scoring titles.
Okay.
So now when I say, she's like the LeBron of the WNBA, but she's also one of his favorite players. She's almost like the Jordan of the WNBA, like that scoring title piece.
Yes.
LeBron, I don't think LeBron has any scoring titles.
I don't either.
Outside, like Michael Jordan had 10
scoring titles.
So to see her be in the league this long, cover and be such a great player and a diverse player in her skill set, lead her team as a 2-time MVP to the finals.
Yes.
6-time Olympian with that 5 scoring titles. Like, we're talking about talent. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the WNBA is starting to get this recognition finally, and increasingly over the last, I would say, decade, is getting the recognition for the type of talent that it has. And so I just wanted to give her, with the Phoenix Mercury, give her that shout out. I don't know how much longer she's going to be in the league. I don't think she's announced retirement or anything like that. She's still playing at a high level right now. Yeah. So we'll continue looking to see, she makes this year 20, 21, 22, just to see her continue what she's doing. So for me, that's the last. I just want to recognize her. Anybody else in the WNBA, any team or player that you wanted to?
Yeah, I definitely want to shout out Asia Wilson. She's got a new signature line coming out. Angel Reese. This time she signed the Reebok. She's got a signature line. Of course, Caitlin. Everybody knows about her shoe coming out.
Right.
I want to shout out these shoe companies who aren't afraid to do these deals with these women and give them their brand of shoe and say, hey, look, let's put it out.
Right.
Just not sign you to the company and not do nothing with you, but sign you to the company and put shoes out. Just like Kelsey Plum, she's Asia Wilson's teammate. She signed Under Armour. So she's got a shoe line coming out. So hey, big shouts out to these ladies, who's coming out with these shoes now.
Yeah, definitely.
So hey, I'm happy for these ladies. I'm proud of these shoe companies for not just saying, oh, it's all about the men's game. We got to put this men's shoe out.
Right.
They're not scared to push that envelope and say, what y'all ladies deserve shoes too.
That's it.
Because there's a big market. They're not tapping into because your blinders is on.
Right.
So you don't have your blinders on no more. You're open-minded. So big shouts out to these shoe companies. Big shouts out to these women for putting in this hard work to say, hey, I want a shoe. I deserve a shoe.
Yeah.
So they're getting their shoes, and hey, when they come out, we're definitely gonna show them, and because I want the world to see what their shoes look like. You know, I want, cause I'm looking at the Angel Reese's, the Angel Reese's pieces. So, yeah, you might see with, yeah.
That's all right. Look, like I said in the beginning of the intro, I said we're four brothers. Well, a couple of the brothers are really tight on the shoe game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them rocking some of these shoes that we talk. Well, let me tell you, they don't actually wear them because they got them on display.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of our brothers collecting some of these shoes, and we'll make sure to try to get you in a sneak peek of that shoe collection too. All right, so that's going to wrap up what we have for this day. We want to really cover the WNBA a little bit more in detail. Outside of that, remember, we like to try to nominate a rising star. So if you have a female rising star that you want to nominate, send us that information. Our email's in the description. Send us a highlight video. We'd love to be able to get that put on. And send us some information about that player. We'd love to be able to talk about them as well. So again, also be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this podcast with all those that you know. So outside of that, we're going to get ready to close up this episode, and we're going to do so with just some final thoughts from Big Bro Jeremy.
My final thoughts.
Yes, sir.
FH Sports World Football season is upon us. Next Thursday is kickoff. Definitely tune in next week to our kickoff special. Don't hesitate. Tune in next week. But my closing thoughts is we talking about this women's game. I want to thank these companies. Mm-hmm. All these companies that you mentioned earlier. All these companies who are thinking about, should we do it? Don't be scared. These women have put that work in and showed you that they are worth that money and they are worth your time to sit down and do business with. So companies, don't be scared to do business with these women. Big shout out, ladies.
All right. On that note, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, FH World.
FH Sports.